Hello and welcome back to Building the Boys. We have got part 10 of Building This Doll's House to finish out this month. This delayed month, unfortunately. Now, there isn't a load to do in this one. I mean, really there isn't. We are putting together the wall panel that we received back in pack 8 with along with the Aristocats piano. We're putting that together. And we are building another piece of this that is going to go on the wall that we built in the last pack, but it doesn't ask us to add it. Now, I know the temptation is going to be, well, I'm going to do it anyway. Don't. There might be a very good reason why they're saying don't add this yet. There might not be. It might just go on in next week. But my advice would be, if it hasn't told you to do it, don't do it. Because sometimes there's a reason. Sometimes there isn't, and you could have just done it. But sometimes there is a very bloody good reason why they've said don't do something. A lot of people added their door handles when they made pack 1. And then realised they had to flip the door open and lie it down flat and start bending their door handles. There was a reason why they said don't put your door handles on. So again, if it says not to do it, I'm not doing it. I'm building this stock, so I'm building it with you. We do get some very nice little pieces in this one as well. And we'll take a look at those too. But there's not loads to do. I mean, we're assembling a panel and we're doing another sticker to a piece of fascia. But I think what we'll do, because this is the end of the pack, we'll bring up everything. And we'll put it together as it is, and we'll see what it looks like, where we're up to so far, and how we're doing. And then we'll have a bit of a chat at the end about what is to come in the next delivery, the delivery after that, and even the delivery after that. We'll have a bit of a chat about it, maybe have a look at some pictures of what it's going to look like. And yeah. So let's look at what came with this month, because some very lovely pieces came for the Frozen Hallway, which is our first piece of the Frozen Hallway. And the throne, I'm digging, it's really nice. We got these lovely little flowers for the frozen room, and we just got this little tulips jar, and you can see the, if I get the focus, there we go, the frozen emblems on these, the hydrangea there. Nice little things, and they stand up, which is important, because if they don't, if you've got these and for whatever reason you've got a little bobble or something on the bottom of one of these, you can take an emery board to it, because you're not going to see the bottom. And you can just buff that off so it will sit nice and level. So we got those. But the other thing we got, and I think this is really rather gorgeous, is we got the frozen throne. And this is padded. So this is fabric, and it is padding. It's even nicer than the padding that we had in the Mickey Mouse chair. The Mickey Mouse chair was flocked, whereas this is padded, and it's just got a nice feel to it. It's lovely. Now, I have seen that these are prone to break. I've seen people are losing these parts up here off of theirs, or they're turning up like that. If yours turns up broke and you've got a subscription, you ain't got to put up with that. See, I'm not delirious about that. It's okay, we're not going to see that. If yours turns up broke, you ain't got to put up with it if you've got a subscription, because you've paid for, you know, complete goods. If it's broken, you contact Hachette, you tell them, mine's broken, send me another. You don't have to make do with something. You've paid for good. Get good, you know? And that's the way it is. Anyway, what we're going to be doing in this one, if you remember, we got these parts with pack number 8. This really isn't rocket science to put this thing together, but we will go through exactly how that goes. And then the other thing that we got in this issue is yet another one of these. Now, we all know how to do this, but again, don't let complacency get you. Make sure you get this around the right way, and make sure this goes on the right way. So we'll do that. And then we'll take a look at what everything all together looks like. So we know the deal with these now. We're just going to make sure no mouse head is cut off completely. So hang your one mouse head right over the side so it's not going to get cut off. And we've got to make sure we're not cutting off another mouse head at the other end. So not happy with that positioning. Just about there. I think we should do it. Yep, that's where we are. Right, okay, so again with this, we're just going to put it in place, take that off completely, and there we are. That's simple. So we're going to trim these pieces off, and that is that piece done. And then we're going to move on to the wall panel. So yeah, there we are, all trimmed off, done. We're getting old hands of that, aren't we? Right, so we're going to bring in the panel now. There are two things that are important to know about this panel. One of them is there is a number. I'm hoping my camera can pick this up. 2. There we go. So, come on, focus. Sorry about this. There is a number 2 on this panel. That's got to go on the back. We don't want that facing outwards into the room. So the indented number 2, which you'll find in the center of your panel, needs to go on the back. Now, we are going to use 2 different types of glue for this, and there is a reason for that, and I'll explain what that reason is. For these pieces here, we're going to use wood glue, and we're going to put a little touch of wood glue along these, and they are going to sit on there, and they're going to sit on there. Now, the reason why we're using wood glue is because, again, these have got to be snug and exact when we fit these in. If for some reason it doesn't quite fit, we're going to have to remove these. You put them on super glue, you're just going to damage the hell out of them when you do that. Wood glue is going to be more forgiving, you're going to get them off a lot easier. However, these pieces, once they're in, okay? So to keep these in for eternity, we are going to super glue these pieces. So wood glue these, we're going to super glue these. So let's get into it. These might look the same, but they're not. So one of the easiest way I can describe this, because my camera's not really going to pick it up too well, is there are 3 sections on bar A. So you have the raised part in the middle and 2 dip sections. Then on bar B, you just have the 2. So bar A is the part that's gone on the top, bar B is the one that's gone on the bottom. These aren't, you put them where you like, they have to be exact. Otherwise you're going to get a weird kind of continuity go throughout your room. So make sure you put these on the right way around. Yeah, it's don't just think these are exactly the same, because they're not. So that's how this one's going to go. That one's going to sit on there like that. And I mean, the groove should give these away as well. But I just want to make sure you're doing these correctly, rather than just thinking, well, they're both the same. They're not. If you look at them, they are different, and it will give you a description and instructions exactly which one goes where. So that's how we're going to wood glue this. He says throw them everywhere. So I'm going to apply some thin layers of glue to either side, put it together, we'll take a look what it looks like. Okay, so using our glue there, I'm going to pop this on here. We're going to get smear, I'm sure. That's fine, we'll clear that off. Okay, we want to make sure this is lined up to the end there. Okay. There we go. Okay, I'm going to clear up some of this smear, and then we're going to do the exact same thing with bar B. It's the same again. We've added a strip of wood glue to this, and we're going to attach this panel to the bottom here. Loads of smear on this one, so I'll have to clean that up with our cotton bud. And there we are. So we're going to clear up this this smear with our cotton bud, and then we're going to move on to the center panels. So that's those parts installed. Now you don't need to go mad on these. These fit really snug. So we're going to put just honestly a dot of super glue onto these, tiny little micro dot, purely to hold them in place and just ease them on their way. And that's all we're going to do. So I can show you here what I mean by micro dot. I mean micro dot. There we go. That's it. Honestly, you don't need to smear this all along here. This is purely to hold it in place. One there. And then finally, one there. And then again, using this method here, I'm just going to smear this along here. So we can reduce the kind of excess that might pour out. So I'm going to flip this one over, line this one up, pop it in. That's it. Now I won't bore you watch me do the exact same thing for a second time. So I'll do that one, then we'll take a look at the finished thing. Here we are. This is everything up to stage 10 in one hit. You can kind of see how much we've done now when you look at it this way, because I know this is slow progress up to this stage, but we'll talk about that in a bit, about how we're going to speed up and what's coming next. So it's looking really rather lovely. You see it all together collectively, and you kind of get a feel for where we're going. I've loosely put this on there. I've loosely put the wall panel on there. They haven't been installed yet, not properly. But yeah, I'm liking how this is looking, and yeah, happy with it. So let's have a chat about what's to come. So that is it for March, even though I didn't get mine until April. That's pack 10 complete. And seeing it all together like that sort of shows you how far you have come, because I understand that in the early days of any one of these models, we start chomping at the bit going, can we get some progress? Can we get some structure? And it's the same with everything, whether you're building this or you're building a car or you're building a robot or whatever it is you're building. In the early days, you've just got this little piece and you're thinking, this ain't really going anywhere. Well, what I can tell you is on what comes next, that does change fairly rapidly. So next month, which is parts 11, 12, 13 and 14, is what I'd refer to as the last slow progress month. Because we are building a couple more walls. We're going to glue the floor in place we've already got. But you will get the wallpaper for the frozen side of this divided wall with Mickey. So you are starting the frozen wall. And you will have more structures. You have the back wall on. You can make more of these rails and more of these wooden panellings. So it is a slow progress month next month. But after that, wow, right, we accelerate like you wouldn't believe. So the month after, so April, we're going to be doing parts 11 to 14. The month after that, we're doing 15 to 18. My God, do we accelerate. So by the time you get to the end of 18, you will have Mickey's entire room complete. You will also have the floor laid and the first 2 walls of the frozen room installed as well. And it will look like this. Which gives you an idea of how quickly the progress starts to happen. Once you've got all that in place, when we get to May, it flies up, because honestly, we absolutely thunder through Alice's kitchen, putting the walls and the floor in place for that. So you'll complete the walls for the frozen room. We'll start on Alice's room, and that really goes up quick. So 11 to 14 is April. It's slow progress. It's just making more of Mickey's walls and more of these wooden panels. But then May, as I said, we do what you've just seen, and the frozen room's complete. And then June, so wow, you'll look at where you are by June. You're really getting some structure now. So the structure's coming on impressively. So that's what we've got to come. So if you are feeling a little, I want this to speed up, trust me, it's going to accelerate massively over the next few months. It's just next month is a little bit more grindy. I don't know why they do this, but they do, and it's the same in every part work. I would imagine there's a financial reason that you get smaller, cheaper parts early doors. So if someone's going to drop out, they drop out, and then you start getting the bigger, slightly more expensive parts later on. I'm guessing, I don't know. I would imagine that there's a financial reason why it's always slow progress. There's a build, the Eddie Stobart build, which is you can build an Eddie Stobart truck, and my God, the progress on that is seriously slow. I think I would have quit that by now if it had been me building it. So this is, I think it's important to do things like I've just done, where you just mock up the room and have a look at everything. Now, none of that stuff, with the exception of Mickey's chair, is going to be in that room. But seeing it all together gives you an idea of, okay, this is what I'm doing. This makes sense. This is looking good. Now I'm hoping all of you are making good progress with your houses, and that you're not finding anything too difficult. If you are, please drop us a line, and we'll help where we can. And you can do this. You can do this. And as you can see, this is wildly different from when we built the doors. The doors genuinely are the hardest thing to install. Now, I have seen up to part 112, which is what they're on in Japan at the moment. So only 8 parts left in Japan to finish this. They still haven't installed those doors that we built in the first 4 packs. You believe that? So they're not going to. I'm convinced that those doors will be the very last thing that get installed to this model. Because honestly, your little pink and white lovely front doors, which were a pain in the ass to make, you're not going to touch for 2 years. 2 years until you touch those doors again. Genuinely. It's crazy, but it's true. it is a fascinating build because we're gonna build all of downstairs, and then we're going to stop building wall structure for a little while as we build the foundations of the house. Because as you're looking at this thing now, it's not flat. This thing's raised a good height, and we're going to build a massive foundation that all of this sits on. So you are going to start getting some fairly huge packs soon, with all these foundation pieces in them. But it's important to get the structure of this house done first. We're going to get these 3 rooms done. That then gives us our base, essentially, that we're building above and below from. And it's you can do this, you can. So honestly, if you're again, I've seen people quit over things or think, oh please don't, and I mean there's no convincing it's going to change them. Just because you didn't like one part doesn't mean every part's going to be like that. There's a lot of wallpapering to do, so if that's annoying you, come to peace with it, because we're going to be doing that a lot. I mean, we just are. We've got 10 rooms to wallpaper, and that's the way it is. None of these walls are going to come printed. We're going to have to wallpaper them all. But again, take your time with them. Take your time with them, and they'll come out fine. And if they're not fine, so what? It doesn't matter if they're not fine. This thing doesn't have to be perfection. You made it, okay? Perfection looks machine-made. Imperfections look like it was handmade. They also look like it was handmade with care. It was handmade with love, you know? So don't panic about that. If you do have, I don't know, a door that opens the wrong way, a door handle on the wrong way around, so what? Leave it as it is. Leave it as it is. It makes it yours, you know, it makes it unique. And it shows that whoever gets this as a gift one day, or when your kids play with it, that, you know, mum made this, or dad made this, or my uncle made this, or my granddad made this, and he made it with care. And there's a quirky little thing with it that he got wrong, but it's still there, or she got wrong. It's okay. It's okay. It's just a model. You're not selling this, you know, it's not going to be perfection. So if there is a blemish to it, big deal. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Just enjoy it. Enjoy it. Don't get stressed. And again, with the delays, there might be another delay. That might happen. But this is, unfortunately, the world we're living in at the moment is so volatile, sadly, that there's not a lot we can do about that. I mean, with the conflict currently happening between Ukraine and Russia, you can understand in Europe, definitely channels of moving from back and forth between borders is going to slow down. We have the issue with P&O ferries at the moment. That's going to create port disruption. COVID is still rearing its head all over the world, and that is going to cause delays as well. So I understand your frustrations, but let's also understand that everybody dealing with this is a human being as well, you know. So as much as we want to shout and scream at them, they're just doing their jobs, you know. And I'm sure it's not in their interest to not send these things to you. It's not like they've got them, they just don't want to send it to you. If they could get you these tomorrow, they get them you tomorrow, you know. So remember that. Remember that. I think that's important. And we've got a nice little community on Facebook and places like that of people here. But again, you will get the occasional bad apple. If you don't rise to it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it, you know. You're trying to help people and they'll mouth off at you. It's like, oh, I'm just trying to help you. You might not like the answer I've given you, but that's the answer I've got. So don't, you know, just don't engage in it. The world has got enough stresses and strains as it is without having to add to them over something that should be fun. So this is exactly what this should be. This should be you time, zen time, chill time. And that's what it is for me. This is why I enjoy doing this one. It's just very chilled compared to some of the other models that have fairly ferocious communities. This one's quite a nice one. I really enjoy stopping by and talking to you all and showing you our progress. If you've enjoyed that, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It helps our channel massively. And it's free, costs you nothing to do, but it helps us a lot. We've got lots of other things coming up on the channel. I say that, nothing's turned up. We've got Iron Man. Iron Man has turned up, so we have got Iron Man turned up on the channel. And we did get this rather lovely free gift with Iron Man of a Bluetooth speaker. We'll be looking into that one. We've got more of the Routemaster bus coming up. We've got R2-D2 coming up. And we've got more Ecto 1. A latest Ecto 1's gone on there, and Ecto 1 really is looking beautiful now. So even if you're not into building model cars, it's still worth having a look at some of these models that are available, because you might know someone that does want one, and a lot of these are coming to the end now, so you'll sort of see my progress on them, and some of them look really gorgeous. I'm a very different Scott on the Iron Man videos, because the model winds me up, so you might be surprised at how I talk and what I do over there, but it is what it is. We also have, me and my son are collecting the Marvel books through Hachette as well, and he's doing his little reviews of those. He's doing two books every month, so there'll be one video every month for the 2 books, and he has just got the latest Ms. Marvel book, which I'm trying to encourage him to not be chauvinistic as a little boy, which little boys tend to be. If he's got a girl lip, they're not interested. So I tried to convince him Ms. Marvel was going to be a good thing, and he has really enjoyed it. So I'm looking forward to seeing his review on that one. That will be up probably Sunday. And we will have a weekly catch-up, because it has been a long time since I did anything, because they just didn't turn up. But thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, please give us a like, give us a subscribe. And in a world where you can be anything at all, just be nice. And we'll see you next time.